Welcome to practice, everyone. My name is Laura, and the props that we may use today, if you have them nearby, it could be blocks, it could be blankets, it might be a towel, something that's malleable. If you have a soft, squishy ball, this is an inflatable ball. It has a little plug on the bottom. You can pull it out and deflate it some. Go ahead and grab that if you happen to have something like this nearby. Usually they are billed as Pilates balls or just a fitness ball. It's very lightweight. So nothing too hard. Maybe choose a towel that you can fold up instead. I have a blanket nearby rolled up. And once you've got your props, we'll just take a few moments to find a position, a seat that is supportive for you. Letting the eyes rest. Taking this time to arrive. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. And noticing how the body is feeling at this time. With the next inhale, we may visualize and perhaps feel the ribs expanding wide. And as we exhale, rooting down through our seat. Inhale, there's a loftiness, a lift through the neck, through the crown of the head. And as we exhale, there's a softening. And perhaps we take a moment and just observe what we notice the most about our breath. Maybe it is the sound of the breath, the feel of the breath, perhaps in the nose, perhaps in the chest or elsewhere. And then expanding that awareness to notice, is the body already moving? Is the body sliding into any sort of intuitive movement? And let's take a moment and perhaps wobble up a little taller and slide the throat back, the back of the head backwards. It may feel a little unnatural, it is. And then let the nose tip glide forward. Let the shoulders find a little slump, a little rounding. And then roll, finding that loftiness, that lift. Slide the throat back, and let's turn the head to one side. And we might find a little bit of a yes nod, and almost tilt that back ear a bit back, like you're trying to hear someone behind you. Let the chin tilt towards the chest. And we may just pause there, stretching into that long side of the neck. We may take our fingers to that side of the neck, self-massaging. Let the chin roll towards the center of the chest, and perhaps we find this very, very gentle glide of the chin, or draw a tipped figure 8 with the tip of the nose. Invite the shoulders forward, invite them high. Let the shoulders slide down and back. And let's again retract the head, slide the head back. Feel the ribs expand with the inhale, softening inwards as we exhale. Inviting the nose tip to turn to that second side. Maybe there's a tiny nod. We're keeping shoulders facing forward, and we may tip back, lean back with that ear. How about that long side of the neck? We might take our fingers to the long side of the neck and palpate, self-massaging. Letting the chin dip down closer to the chest. Maybe we prefer to keep the fingers at the neck, exploring. We may be tracing the chin back to the middle and drawing those infinity symbols with a nose tip. Let the shoulders move forward, let them come high. Invite them down and back. Let's float the hands up, bringing movement into fingers. And as we're breathing, twirl the wrists. Let's twirl in second direction. And then just press both hands out, palms out, turn the head back to that first side and gather in. Let's press out through the hands, turn the head to the second side and gather back in. Rocking backwards, extend each leg. Just take a moment, reach out through each leg. How are the hips feeling today? Reversing across the legs, rocking sits bones back, sitting up with the breath, let the eyes rest. Explore breathing into the back body, into the back ribs. And let's spin both palms to face forward. Invite the arms high, the gaze high. Very gentle twist as we exhale towards the right. We may find a little nod with the head, what feels best in the neck for now. Inhale through the middle and exhale, rotating to that second side. Let's inhale, move it back to the middle, thumbs to forehead, thumbs to heart. So we might be lining the wrists up with the elbows. Press the elbows to one side. And maybe, yep, we might just nod the head. That might be enough interest. Ooh, bring it back to the middle, circling wrists. Circle second direction, palms together. Glide the elbows over to that second side. And the head, the nose tip may turn to that second side. And let's move back to the middle and perhaps one more time, circle the wrists. And then take the hands wide. Now, mindful of the floor. In fact, if you want to just bend the elbows first, press the hands backwards, extending the arms, and then sweep the thumbs a little closer together. Now, is the head jutting forward? Are we tipping forward? Can we roll back? Can we keep ourselves a little bit further back as we press back through the hands? Just release that, let that go. If you have a block, let's say a light block nearby, if you have one of the wooden or cork blocks, maybe those are a little heavy. If they drop and land on you, it will hurt. You might ding your floor. So a lighter block, or you could just pretend. Take that block overhead. So the palms are facing in. And again, just check. Did the head jut forward? Slide the head back, crown of the head high. We're pressing in on the block. Now we may bend the elbows, and as we do, are the elbows coming wide? So just note that, and I'm really exaggerating wide elbows. See about hugging those elbows forward and perhaps taking the block behind the head. So you may need to creep your fingers to come around that back corner of the brick. Hug the elbows in. Head pressing gently into the block. Now, let's say you don't have a block at all. Maybe we just weave the fingers together and we might scoop underneath the base of the skull, and we may still hug the elbows in. Let's again re-extend the arms, let the arms come high, sweeping the hands down. So just take a moment to rock back and extend each leg slowly, reach it out, press out through the heel, reach out through the second leg. How are we feeling in the hips, the feet, ankles, knees? So you may want additional padding on the floor for your back body. So that could be doubling up your mat. It might be finding a blanket and opening it up just so you've got a little extra cushion. And then you're finding perhaps, now we're not going to come to our back body just yet, but we're headed there. Finding your ball if you're using one, or maybe you're going to grab that blanket or towel and we'll use that as a prop. And if you don't have any of that, this won't be very long, but just to show you where we're going, we don't have to come onto your knees, we'll be coming down onto our belly. So if you find your hip bones in front, kind of low, very soft prop, you'll take that prop right onto your hip bone to start. So something very soft, not a hard ball at all. So we'll pick one side to start on. We'll come on down onto the belly and just roll so that you can get your ball or your towel in place underneath that hip bone. Now your feet could be wide, they may be more narrow, your toes may be tucked. And if the prop is not soft, this might be super intense. It might just be interesting with a soft prop. Breathing, come back to the breath. And you might have kind of landed in a perfect position, but maybe a little exploration is necessary. So to explore, we might find a little wag through the hips, through the pelvis. We might press into the toes and lengthen forward. And as we exhale, we may just soften, melt down over the ball, the prop. Breathing into the belly. Maybe we're bending that same side knee and finding a little waggle of the leg. And we may roll the prop just to the inside of that hip bone. And we might tuck the toes and find a little movement, a little rock forward and back. So we're to one side of the pubic bone. We're not in the middle of the belly. The knees might drop down. And we might just keep exploring, schlunking. Full deep breathing. And let's think about how we might bring the ball to the other side. You can absolutely just roll off it and replace it. Maybe we're rolling if the prop is soft enough to one side and just helping to nudge the ball underneath that opposite hip bone. And again, maybe you've landed in the perfect spot, but maybe we take a few moments to explore. We might need to turn a knee out on the opposite side to help us find the right angle. This side might be more or less sensitive than the other side. We may have the toes tucked and do a little bit of a push-pull, a rocking back and forth. Finding a spot where we can breathe. Just bringing a little more awareness to this area. We might be discovering that we've got a pretty sensitive low belly. We might bend the knee and waggle the leg. And you're welcome to take more time with this, but we might just now roll off the prop. Just roll it away or put it to one side. And we'll come down to a symmetrical position, perhaps crisscrossing the forearms and supporting the forehead. You might turn the head to one side, but look for what brings you the most ease for this moment. Breathing into the belly. And then placing the hands, we may rise up towards a cobra, lengthening front body, pressing hips back towards heels into a child's pose. Now we may scooch the fingers a little further forward. And perhaps we sway the hips, the ribs a little bit side to side. You may walk the hands very gently towards the right, perhaps pinning the left hand down and leaning that left hip diagonally away from the palm. Moving back towards center, we may rise up just enough to walk the hands to the other side, pinning right hand down. Leaning the ribs away from that pinned right palm. And gradually bringing the hands back up to center. Now we might cushion the knees. We may plant the hands and start to round the back, and perhaps we find a little wobble rock through the back, just noticing how is the back feeling. Shifting forward, pointing the toes. We might find that arch, that cow pose, turn the chin to one side, nod the head, round the back. We may find a little wobble through the hips. Perhaps we send the hips back closer to the heels with or without the hip wobble. Moving back up, draping into cow pose, chin moving towards that second side. And we may find a little nod of the head, bring it back to neutral, and perhaps one more time, cat pose. And the cat is, of course, making an appearance. And we are maybe dropping back. You're welcome to stay with it. Rising up, we're going to think about shifting back to our seat to come down onto our back body. Now, if you have some light blocks, so make sure they're light again, not the heavy ones, because if they fall this time, they might fall on your face. So very light. You could also maybe just use a couple balls of yarn, something very light, or just your hands, of course. So we'll bring ourselves down onto the back and invite both knees into the chest. And we might find that little rock side to side, and we may take the knees wide. We might slide the hands down to hold on to the ankles or somewhere between the knees and ankles. The knees may be widening, slacken the jaw. We may have, let's call it a pleasant, dull achiness in the inner thighs. Now, if we feel like we are just rounded up in a ball, we can always release the ankles, take the hands higher, or put a wedge underneath the hips. Let's bring those knees back together, dust off the feet, and let both legs come up to the ceiling. Flex, push up through the heels, point the toes, go back and forth, flexing, pointing, widen the legs, twirl the ankles, twirl second direction. And then let's land the left foot and reach up through that right heel and press that right heel away. We're going to keep the leg up in the air, pull the little toe side of the foot down, rebend, releasing, landing right foot. Take a moment to follow the breath. Let the thread of your attention follow breath sensations in the body. Fan the right toes, gently seesaw the foot. Let's gather that left knee in towards the chest. Let that left leg rise. And maybe we just revisit pointing, flexing for a moment, and then reach up through that heel. Push the back of the leg a little further away. Try to keep the left hip, left butt cheek connected to the ground. Rebending, releasing, following the breath, noticing how the body is feeling. We may just take a moment, fan the left toes, seesaw the foot, still the foot, and then contract and relax the arches of the feet. Contracting, relaxing. Let's rock that right thigh into the chest. Find a bind around the shin, around the hamstrings. Perhaps we send that left leg long. Breathing in the belly. We may audibly sigh. Take your time, gathering left leg in, right foot comes back to the ground. We may give a few wobbles. We may send that right heel long. Breathing into the body. Feel the lift and release of the belly. Let that left foot come down. Slide the right foot back in. Let's place the hands on the belly, observing the breath. So take a moment and give a little wiggle of the hips on the ground and notice where the low back is. Is there an arch in the back? We're going to very gently draw the low back towards the ground and then just soften that, let go of that efforting. We're going to try to make this as subtle as possible. And in fact, let's try using sound. So let's try the sound SH, like you're shushing someone in a library. We'll place the hands on the belly so that you can feel the contraction of the belly muscles with the hands. We'll inhale through the nose. We'll make the SH sound on the exhale until you're out of breath. Full deep inhale. When you're ready. Shh. And then just breathing. Make sure the jaw didn't over tense, but maybe you were feeling the contraction, the engagement of the belly muscles under the hands and the low back connected to the ground. Let's try that again, this time with the sound HA. We'll just try 2 sounds today and just see if you connect more with one over the other today. So the sound HA or ha on the exhale. Full deep inhale. So now whichever one you connected with or you felt you feel that engagement of your belly muscles, do that one more time. Shh. And then press both hands up towards the ceiling. So we're palm up like we have 2 bricks on our hands, but we don't yet. So just palms up, shoulders down. You're welcome to do the sound, but you might just want to do the action as we add pieces on here. So with your exhale, take one arm overhead. And as you inhale, bring that hand back up. Then do the other side. So as we exhale, the opposite arm comes down. We have that belly engagement. And as we inhale, we bring the hand back up. So the hands are flexed like you have bricks on the hands. Now, if you would like to add bricks, and we will add another component in a moment, please feel free to add the bricks. So shoulders plug down. The shoulders stay down, the head stays down. With your exhale, take one arm back while keeping the other brick up towards the ceiling. And we inhale up. And then we exhale down to the other arm. And inhale up. So let's add legs. So we might just place blocks and hands down. Bring the knees into the chest. Take the legs high. Flex both feet. Give yourself a moment. There might just be so much sensation at the backs of the legs, pelvis down, hips down, that we need to just take a moment to be aware of that, let it dissipate. Let's take both arms up in the air. So the hands are flexed as though you have blocks on them. So you're going to pick opposite arm and leg. And as you exhale, you're moving opposite arm and leg. The heel is hovering, it's not coming all the way down. And as you inhale, we're coming back up. That sound, that belly contraction sound, you might be making it, you might just be doing the action. So we'll exhale, opposite arm and leg down, and inhale back up. Now, if you think you want to try that with the blocks and the hands, go for it. So you're choosing. You're finding your own rhythm with the breath. Feel free to pause. Feel free to reset. Down on the exhale, up on the inhale. Now, if you remember which arm you started with the down, finish opposite. Bend the knees, let the feet come down, and carefully place the hands down, the blocks down. So another possibility, if you're really maybe sensitive in the low back, you may not want to do the full variation of this. We might keep our arms wide with hands on the blocks, bend the toes, and just lift the hips up. See how that feels. And then very gently put the hips back down. So you're welcome to repeat that, adding on. We're lifting the hips up. And this time as we come down, we're tractioning the low back. So there's a lengthening of the hips away from the middle back You're rolling that low back down to the ground and eventually releasing the weight. So this should feel pretty good. So the hips may rise, lengthen the low back, and slowly roll it down. Now, perhaps you're feeling a little more congested or tighter on one side. So let's say left side, because that's my side that's facing the camera at the moment. So the hips may rise. And as you start to release down, you might lengthen that left hip, left thigh, left knee first, landing it down. Let the right follow. But let's do the other side as well. So we'll rise up, we'll lengthen that opposite side, rolling down, and reset to the middle. Fan the toes. Now, if you feel like that tighter side, you really want to repeat it, please feel free, or we'll just roll up and one more time, symmetrically, traction, lower down. Now, another possibility, what we just did, if your back is feeling tight, maybe, or sensitive, maybe that felt better than this next possibility. So you might press the hands down into the blocks, draw the knees into the chest, and lift the hips a little and release. Roll down and release, like you're going to roll back into plow, but we're not rolling all the way into plow. But if your low back is just like, that's not so supportive today or at all, feel free to omit that. Don't feel like you have to do that. And then we'll just maybe move the blocks off to the side or overhead, just so they're not in our way at all. Rock the knees into the chest and tip to your easiest side, the side maybe where you're not going to run into blocks. Landing. The knees could be stacked, the knees may be pinwheeled. We'll place the hands, start to rise up into that twisted pinwheel. So you're moving the hands opposite the knee, moving the sternum opposite the thigh, and we might decide that, maybe it feels good to walk the hands a little further and then allow that long side body to get longer, to drape towards the ground, and that shoulder to rise up towards the ear passively. Breathing around that middle section. And just taking your time to feel into the twist. Let the hands start to rock forward, slide that outside arm down, come down, resting, side lying. Breathing, and start to roll back onto back body. So when you are ready, draw your knees into your chest. And maybe we find a little rock of the hips and roll to rest on the second side. And again, knees, option to have them stacked or pinwheeled. Press into that top hand, and as we rise up, we're taking the other hand wider. And there's no hurry to go deeper in the twist. If and when you feel ready, the hands might travel further away from that knee. Letting the shoulders shrug up, letting the ribs hammock towards the ground. Taking your time, we may start to walk the hands a little further forward, slide that arm out, and again, rock onto back body. So please remember that you always have options. You are welcome to roll back onto your side body for this. If it feels okay to do that action, we had our hands on the blocks where you're rocking the thighs in towards the chest, the hips lifting off the floor. We might do that. We might hold our knees and rock up. So it's nice if you've got a little extra padding for the back for this, and it might take more than one rock. So maybe we rock a couple times if that feels good in your body. Finding our way up to a seat. And then eventually, and maybe you're even rocking all the way up towards a standing position, but we might tip it forward. Feel free to clear any extra padding off your mat. We may bring ourselves into a standing forward fold. Possibly having hands on blocks. Head may be heavy. We may shift through the knees, perhaps step the feet wider. Hands may come lower. The temperatures have been rising. You might be feeling freer, looser in the body. So just take your time, listen to what feels right for you in this moment. Then we may slide blocks under the hands if they're not yet there and rise part way up. Keep the right foot forward, send that left leg back, finding our way into a lunge position, rocking forward, rocking back. Let the hips come high, navigate that left foot forward and right leg back. So maybe shifting forward, back a little bit, getting into the toes, the front of the thigh. And breathing into belly. And let the hips rise, navigating that back foot forward and folding in, tipping in. And let's rise halfway up. And as we do, walk the hands, maybe block hands over to your right, unmirroring, bending that right knee, rolling left hip back. Let's move it back to center, rising up. And then walking the hands over to that second side, perhaps bending left knee, rolling that right hip back. We'll bring it back through the middle. Exhale, tipping in. Maybe little nods, circle nods of the head. Let's rise part way up, but bend in the knees. Take your time, perhaps hands on the thighs, straighten the arms. If we're feeling lightheaded, take it even slower. We might bend the knees again, rise up to stand. Shift it out. So from a top short edge of the mat, and possibly having some knee padding nearby, you might put it on that left edge of your mat. From standing, we'll spin the palms forward, fan the toes, invite the arms high, gaze high. We may bring the thumbs behind the head, tipping back. Reaching up with the arms, exhale, forward fold. Send that left leg back. So we're back in our low lunge position. Option to drop back knee down to the ground. We might be finding little shifts forward, little sways side to side. You can point the back foot, you can keep the toes tucked. We might slide that front foot forward and rock back on that right heel. Drawing back on the little toe side of the foot, and roll the right hip back. We may tip in a little deeper. Bending back into the right knee, we may bring that left hand down to the ground, wide to the left. Perhaps right hand on the right knee or right thigh. Tucking back toes, back knee rising, and perhaps raising that right arm up in the air. You need a little more room, heel toe, right foot wider to the right. Maybe turn right toes out. Just a little bit. Let's cycle that top hand down to the ground. Consider stepping back to down dog or right into child's pose or hands and knees. We may pedal the feet, shifting side to side. We may nod, circle the head. We may turn the heels out a little bit, tip the sits bones back and high. Perhaps wiggle the feet further back, rocking forward towards plank. We might move back into the toes. You are welcome to come onto the forearms at any point. You're welcome to drop to the knees. Come down to the belly, bring the elbows forward, lengthening into Sphinx. And perhaps we rock the heels or just roll them out a little. How does that feel? Bring them in. Releasing down. Pressing back through child's pose. Tuck the toes, elevate the hips, and we may shorten the dog stance. And if it works for you, perhaps we raise that right leg up in the air. We may drop the left heel. We may bend the right knee. Draw that right knee into the chest, stepping right foot forward. Left leg may rise. We may wrap the right hand around that right leg. Bend the left knee, take that left knee out to the left, draw the left knee alongside the right, and then float the left foot down, let both hands land. Inhale, rise partway up, perhaps hands on blocks. Let's navigate right leg back. Shifting into that lunge position, we can keep it high. We may be releasing onto that back thigh. Breathing. So if we think back to using the ball, how does this compare? Right thigh to left thigh. We may slide the hips backwards, scooching left foot forward. We may rock back on that left heel. Please feel free to elevate the blocks. Make sure we're not locking out the left knee. We might need a little more knee bend if we tend towards knee lockout. Sliding the heel back, bending into that front knee. We may take that right hand wide. We could keep the back knee down or lift it. Left hand may stay on the knee. Maybe we need to heel toe that left foot wider or turn the toes out a bit. We may be reaching that left arm high. Let's cycle that top hand down to the ground. We may plant the hands, lift the hips, and slide or step that left foot back. Swaying our dog. We may tip to one side, a little more weight in that side foot, and shift to the other side. We may slide it forward, find that plank position. Perhaps release down onto forearms. Releasing to knees, sliding forward, point the feet, lifting the chest, and releasing down. We may slide the hands back, heart rising, rolling back, tuck the toes, lifting the hips, finding your dog, and perhaps it is a little shorter dog. Perhaps weight in the right foot, left leg rising. We may bend that left knee, we may lower that right heel. Drawing left knee into the chest, stepping left foot forward, right leg may rise. So we might widen that right hand to the right and bring the left hand around that lower left leg. We may bend that right knee out to the right, draw the right knee alongside the left, and then release right foot to the ground. Consider encircling the big toes or sliding the palms under the feet. We may flip the hands so that we're standing on the tops of the hands. We may hinge at the elbows. Tenting the fingers, rising part way up, put bend in the knees. Forearms to thighs, sink the hips a little bit lower. Take your time, head gradually coming higher than the heart. You're welcome to keep the hands low, especially if you tend towards getting lightheaded. You might reach the arms all the way up and overhead, thumbs to forehead, thumbs to heart. So from a short edge of the mat, let's step out onto the long edge. Give a little rock, heel to toe, moving through the ankles. I'm going to mirror, find your right leg, turn those right toes out, fan the toes, and check out a little knee bend, hip hinge, and then extend, toes fan. So we might just still be saying hello. Now we may sink in, maybe we heel toe the back leg further back or closer in. We may open both arms wide and peer over to the right. What's that right knee doing? Is it collapsing in? Take it wide. We may bring that right forearm to the thigh, take that top arm overhead, straight up or diagonally. We may sink in a little lower, rise on up. Now, as we come up, consider pivoting, right toes in, hands perhaps on hips, left toes out, toes fan, and we're just saying hello to this knee. this hip. We may land, maybe we take that right leg wider, open the arms, peer to the left. And what's the knee doing? Is it tipping in? Can we roll it back out? And perhaps we place the hand or the forearm on the thigh. We might have top hand on the hip, straight overhead, or reaching out on the diagonal. We might lunge a little deeper. Let's rise back up, pivot toes in. Now, if the feet are sliding, if they tend to do that, especially if we're a little slick. So heel toeing feet in. We might find those little rocks forward and back. Put some hinge, some bend in the knees. Tipping forward, hands maybe on blocks, maybe to the ground. Walking heels of the hands backwards. And perhaps we keep the fingers rooted as we peel the heels of the hands away from the ground. Maybe the ball mounds of the thumbs are rising. And then walking those hands forward. Let's look to the right, angle right toes to the right, and go for our lateral lunge to the right. Draw up on left knee, left thigh. We may bring right hand to the thigh, to the hip, maybe straight up overhead. Let's move back through the middle, pivot right toes in, left toes out. Find that lateral lunge. Maybe we're bringing left hand onto the thigh, the hip. We might be turning the sternum, the heart more left. We might be reaching left arm up in the air. Re-extending, pivot all the toes forward, big toes moderately in, and we may again walk the heels of the hands back. We may be peeling the heels of the hands away from the ground. Starting to walk those hands forward, rising part way up. Heel, toe, feet in. Let's put a little bend in the knees, forearms to thighs, sink the hips. If you have a block, it's very easy to reach. Just plug it between those inner thighs, just above the knees. Let the hips sink. You can always just pretend. Bring the hands to the hips. We may take the arms overhead like we were holding a block, but maybe we just go wide. Finding a cactus arm position, and then rooting to rise. Come all the way back up. Releasing your block if you happen to have one there. Please feel free to find a wall. Step one foot back. Feel free to stay there or grab the foot, pointing the knee down to the ground, rolling the head of the shoulder backwards. Releasing, trading sides. So we may have the toes back. We might have hand on the hip, rolling the head of the shoulder backwards. If we're grabbing the foot, we're holding the foot, maybe a little bend in the elbow, rolling the head of the shoulder backwards. So yes, thigh stretch happening, maybe balance challenge, but I'm asking us to notice that shoulder moving back. And then releasing. And then take both hands, press the hands backwards. You don't need to turn the head. I'm just staying sideways so you can see what I'm doing with the arms. We're pressing the hands back. Crown of the head stays high. Notice if we're kind of rounding forward. See if we can roll it up. Even if that means bending the elbows kind of wide. And then pushing the arms down closer to straight. Is the head jutting forward? Slide it back. Just give yourself a little moment. How did that feel through your wrists, through your shoulders, through your chest? So we might not want to do it again. You might just want to do it again at standing. We might come to a wall. So if you're coming to a wall, bring those hands back, find your wall. And we might walk a little bit forward, shoulders staying back. Listen to the arms, listen to the wrists. And then gradually walking the heels closer to the wall so it's easier to release the hands. And we may cluster the fingers and flex the wrists. We might just open and close. We may decide it feels nice to bring the backs of the hands onto side ribs or self-massage the wrists. So let's go wide stance again on the mat. With heel toe feet wide, we'll turn right toes towards the right. We're bending, we're lunging into that front knee, forearm to thigh. Maybe we find a block and extend that front leg for a triangle foundation. And we might be reaching, extending that top arm overhead and flexing the wrist. And maybe we flex back and forth because it's pretty intense. Like you have a block in the palm of your hand, but then we let it go. And then it's back. We bend that front knee, maybe take a block with you. We'll rise back up. Pivot around to the other side. We're lunging, bending into that knee. Drop the block, extend the leg. Top arm may rise and perhaps we flex and let it go. We might hold that imaginary block, but then let it go. Listen to your wrist, your forearm. Bending back into that front knee. Let's again rise all the way back up. Pivot the toes in. Heel, toe, or just step the feet in, whichever feels best for your body. So we'll come back up to that top short edge of the mat. Please feel free to just put the blocks off to the side. You're welcome to keep them under your hands. And if you're already in forward bend, go ahead and stay there. So we might just take a moment. Bending into the knees, and depending on your energy level, we may plant the hands, and perhaps we do walk back to a down face dog position. We may be wiggling feet back, sending those hips back and high, and maybe we peel the right heel up and deeply bend that right knee and find a little waggle, sway of that right shin, and trade sides. And then gradually let the left shin come down, let the right shin come down. Mer person, sit to one side. And we might bring the hands behind the back with the fingers pointing at the hips. We can step the feet in. Give a little wobble. So we're looking for a long spine. And we're just observing. We're noticing the wrists, the upper arms, the shoulders. Nose tip is forward. Even though I keep turning my head that way, feel free to keep your nose tip forward. And you can immediately just release that, let that go. You do not have to go anywhere else. Maybe we have hands on ribs. We might revisit with straight legs and see how that changes things. Breathing into the front of the shoulders. We might put a little bend in the elbows and hug the elbows in, lift the chest. And then gradually sliding the legs in. If we went long with the legs, and we'll come back to flipping the hands the other way, back to the hands on the side ribs, or maybe on the thighs, or perhaps just a self massage around the wrists, up the forearm. And we may press both hands forward. So let's consider the props we have nearby. Maybe we have a couple of blocks. You might have a balance ball or a chair seat, which could be great to use. They're a little bit higher. I'm going to build myself a little bit higher prop. You could use anything that stacks, even a mat rolled up would work. A coffee table would work. So we might have a little bit of a low tabletop. Rock the sits bones back, and perhaps we slide the prop a little further forward. And we might tip in. Now maybe we use our arms or forearms to stay up and support the brow, eyes at rest. Breathing around the hips and the low back. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer hold. You're welcome to stay where you are. If you feel like, all right, I'd like to take it a little bit lower. Maybe we're draping in and resting on one cheek, just a possibility. You are welcome to stay longer. We may be thinking about backing out. Take your time. Moving slowly. And as you rise up, glimpse the cross of your ankles, your legs, and trade that cross up. Wobble the hips backwards, and we might start a little higher, supporting the ground, arriving, breathing around the hips. Breathing into the side and back ribs. Perhaps we're coming down a little lower, and perhaps we're even turning and landing on the other cheek. Remember, you are welcome to stay as long as you like. We may think about gradually rising, feeling breath inside ribs, perhaps breath in the low back even. We may be slowly stacking shoulders back over hips. Take your time, consider the props you have nearby. Maybe we're rolling up our mat, maybe we're using a big cushion, a bolster. Maybe we're going to use 2 blocks. So we may have 2 blocks, we may not have the bolster. So we might place 1 block on the medium setting and the other block on the low setting, or maybe you're going to go high and medium. So you might start low and then go higher if you like. Now, the block that is closer to you is going to go between your shoulder blades. And if you find you prefer to spin it the other way, by all means, this is your pillow prop. So we'll bring ourselves down, bringing a block between our shoulder blades and finding support for the head. The arms may open wide. You're welcome to heel toe feet wide and tip the knees in. You're welcome to slide the legs long if your low back says yes. Let the eyes rest. We may give the head a very gentle wobble. Finding a position of ease. Feel the ribs expand wide with the inhale. Exhale, releasing. The breath may be deepening. We may be bringing movement back into fingers and movement into toes. Perhaps bending elbows and twirling wrists. We may slide each foot in, placing soles of the feet on the ground. Very carefully slide the hips to one side, rolling off your prop to rest, side lying. Letting the belly slide towards the ground. Melting down towards the ground. And placing that top hand on the earth, pinwheel the knees and very slowly pressing yourself back up to a seat. Absolutely no hurry. Take a few moments to find that supportive seat where the back body feels long, one palm resting on top of the other, thumbprints connected. Coming back to the breath, coming back to that observation of the breath. Perhaps that breath awareness has expanded. Connecting palms in front of the heart, we may rub the hands together, bringing a hand to the belly and a hand over the heart, full inhale. Letting it go. Wow. Sealing our practice with sound, vibrational sound. You're welcome to join me with the sound Om. You're welcome to hum or sing any sound that resonates for you. Deep inhale. Ah. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. Please let me know if anyone has questions. That's sweaty. Yes, it is easy to do in this heat for sure. Thank you. Thanks, Miriam. Thanks, Shuwei.